Because, and that's like, you always ask, like, do you have any questions before we start? And, like, I have a huge question. I don't, like, not that I don't know, but, like, it's so weird because, like, I don't know how to, like, act if I'm in a car.
Yeah, cool.
Like, I was trying, like, when I was reading it, I was like, okay, like, here she looks in the mirror, here she, like, licks her teeth, or, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Or here she, like, hits on the gas. Like, I don't know, like, because I've never done it before.
It's a hard scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the memorization and the lines and stuff and, like, how whatever is fine. Like, I mean, it's hard, but, like, it was whatever.
Sure.
But everything, like, the physical aspect.
Cool. So we'll talk about that before we do a pass.
Yeah, okay.
But remember we talked about, like, that W5 stuff?
Yeah.
Were you able to apply that to
Yes.
scenes?
Yeah.
Wonderful. How was that?
It was a little challenging because like for this time I had to do it myself. Like last time you helped me and we did it in the class.
In the session, yeah.
Yeah, in the session. But so it was hard. I mean, like, but it helped.
Yeah. Good.
Definitely very much did help, yeah.
So walk me through, now that we've had a few sessions, or this is our third session, I guess, from the minute you got my email last night, what your prep was this time.
Yeah. Okay, so I opened the email, whatever.
No, this is good. Make it really simple.
Okay, yeah. Open the email, and then whatever. You sent me the sides and the breakdown. So first I read the breakdown, and then I clicked the slides. I read the sides. I read through the sides once, and then, like, it was After Dark, or what's the name? I don't know.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark, right. And then I took Are You Afraid of the Dark and I typed it in Google and I read Google and like I read like whatever, like what the overview of the show or whatever. I read through that and then I went back to the sides and I read through the sides again, like with what Google told me, like with that in mind. And then I started going who, what, where, when. What's the last one? Why. How.
So we're going to talk through more of these things specifically because we just kind of started out with like the lay of the land of it.
Yeah.
And the why is less important, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, so the who, just to review, being like, who am I? Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, exactly. Gaby, my mom.
Yes, the relationship, especially with this relationship. Like, it's good to get specific on like what that relationship is like with your mother.
Yeah, of course. No, definitely. Good. And then I kept on going back to the overview, which was like, I'm this perfect child, but like I'm breaking the rules. Like, how does that make me feel? And like, why am I talking like this? And like, what is like, maybe I'm saying like, oh, nothing's wrong with me, but like, what's the backs? Like, what am I actually thinking?
Good. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, good. And then were you able to find the goals in each scene?
The goals was hard.
Cool.
The goals.
It's hard.
Yeah.
They have to be so simple that they're hard to find. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So we'll talk about that. Who, what, where, like, yeah, you know, like the car and stuff, that's easy. When, time of day. I mean, time of day is really important in that second scene.
Because it's night, because I'm late, I think.
Because it's dawn.
So 6 hours after curfew.
So your curfew has been like 11 and it's like 5
in the morning, yeah.
Oh, yeah, do you see your reaction? Like if anybody came home at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's sketchy.
No,
right?
It is.
So I think it's really important there, especially based on like the argument that we have. The why is just like, why was the scene written? And these are the moments when like you're looking at it and you're like, this is so overwhelming, what's going on? I only have 12 hours, oh my God. That you're just like, what's the function? Oh, okay, the first scene exists just to set up like the dynamic between mother and daughter or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then what's the how? Who, what, where, when, why, how? What do you think? It's connected to the what, if that's a helpful hint.
How am I dealing with this? I don't know.
Close. How do I get my goal?
Okay.
Tactics.
Yeah.
So, and we'll get to goal stuff, and I don't want to overthink it before your first pass, but like everything that we do and say in a scene has to be pointed towards your goal, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Right? So like I think back to last day, that second scene, and like if your goal is to get him to stop talking to you, it makes sense that you're speaking, like every time you speak to him, you're cold, you're short, you turn to leave, like if all of a sudden you were super nice and like lovely with him, it wouldn't make sense. Yeah. So the part of our actor brain that goes like, what's right, what's wrong? And like we know that there's no actual right or wrong. Yeah. I just always ask like, well, does it point towards your goal or not? Yeah. So if you're having trouble interpreting something, just be like, oh, what makes sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, I want this person to be my friend. Okay, so I have to approach that in specific ways. Now, do you remember you said this so wonderfully at the end of our first session when you were like, I felt like I was like this.
One-noted.
Beautiful. Yeah. So how to avoid being one-noted is actually going into the how. Okay. Because if you're constantly changing your behavior and your tactics, you're not doing the same thing.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So it's like
even like last week when in the beginning my goal was to get him to stop talking to me, so I was like very like short and whatever like you just said, and then at the end it was just like to open up or like whatever it was.
Yeah, our goal switched in that way,
it switched, so I feel like that was definitely a difference.
Yeah, exactly, right? In some scenes, like, it has to switch. Like, some scenes you're like, oh, I want him to leave, but then I start talking to him. Okay, now I have to change my goal. But, like, let's say that you really wanted to go to, like, a party. Cool?
Yeah.
And you were, like, asking your mom to go to a party. And she was like, no, John, like, you're not going to a party. You wouldn't just keep asking in the same way if you really wanted to go.
Obviously, yeah.
Right? Maybe, you see, and yeah, you're like, duh, but we forget to do that as actors.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that was the scene, maybe it's like, you're trying to reason with her, Mom, I really want to go. Then you negotiate with her, like, oh, I won't ask to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then you start to get freaking frustrated with her. Right?
Definitely, yeah.
So, I don't need you to go, like, line by line, but if you're ever having trouble with a moment, just be like, okay, what am I doing here? What's my tactic to get me closer to my goal?
Yeah.
Cool?
Okay, yeah.
Wonderful. I'm very happy with the tight turnaround of this to hear that, like, when you first got it, you just read it over. Because there is, like, an instinct to just be like, I only have, I need to memorize it.
Yeah.
Right? So hopefully you were able to more put story ahead of memorization. So we're not just saying lines today, we're, like, building performance. Cool? So we'll talk about that first scene. How was the second scene, though?
Second scene is good. It's a little different because, like, she really gets fired up at the end. And I think, like, she was very, like, one-noted in the beginning. She's very calm.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's okay. And then she gets, like, she just, like, lets it out.
Yeah.
Everything. And I think that's the difficult part because I want to let it out, but I also, like, want to look like it's real.
Yeah.
You know, letting it out.
Cool.
But, like, it's good.
Yeah. Good. Okay, cool. Okay, the first scene. So this scene is not only incredibly difficult because it's a car scene in general, which you're turning 16 in
January.
And
end of January.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, right, because we started working when you were, you were 15 years and 10 months, and I was like, wait, but that was end of October. Oh my God, okay, cool,
yeah.
Wow. So, car scenes you will naturally do, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be able to drive in like a month. Holy
that's insane.
When is your birthday in January?
January 24th.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So, like, literally almost a month.
Exactly.
Like, a month and a week.
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That's insane.
That's so crazy. So, naturally, those are difficult because it's like, do you play the driving? Do you not?
Like, how do I just, like, what am I supposed to do here? Like.
Right. Exactly. So, we'll talk about that. But then on top of it, I've given you the added challenge of, like, there's, like, a car crash essentially.
Yeah, and like I'm like I don't like am I supposed to like what am I supposed to do? Like I was reading and I was like, oh God, like this is gonna be bad.
No, but it's not okay, so I gave you this on purpose for the challenge of it because last time like physically the scenes were quite simple.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And like often our audition sides have like weird like I was coaching somebody this morning and like in the scene she's on a date with a guy but they're on monkey bars.
Oh my God.
And it's like and like normally I'd be like, oh just ignore it. But there's like dialogue about it. So like, okay, if we're talking, so we're always figuring it out. So that's why I'd rather we figure it out here together. So when you get an audition, you're like, well, I know what I'm doing.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Car stuff we normally don't really need to worry about. Like if it's a car scene and you're like driving, we don't need to like do this.
Okay.
In this scene, we kind of need to do something because we talk about driving.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like you and your friend are in a car. And you're talking about a boy you like at school.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the driving, yeah.
Yeah, it just informs sitting. Cool? Yeah. Now, in this case, obviously, like in a car, you're sitting beside the passenger. You're going to play me as reader per usual. And then I would use this as like the windshield, like out here as like the road.
You as the road? No, this as
this side.
That as the road.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm picking this side because remember, golden frame. Beautiful. The camera is the middle of the golden frame. So if we put everything on one side, we're only using half the frame. Yeah. Beautiful. So we're going to use this side.
Okay, road and...
Great. So when she speaks, when the mom speaks, you can decide the moments that you look at me. Yeah. But then the road's over here. Now, check your mirror. I'm thinking it's that mirror.
Right? Like the top one.
Yeah. So eyeline-wise, I would just cheat that above camera.
Okay.
Yeah, and just kind of like be like, I love that moment, right? And you can... give and take what you want to do there. Like, you know it's makeup. Yeah. So don't worry about the, like, licking of the teeth. Like, I think it's just, like, you can even just be like, you. Yeah, like, check your hair.
Well, maybe not, because I have to be holding the wheel, but, like.
But I think what's funny is, like, we don't have to play that totally, right? Okay. Again, simplify.
Okay.
So even when you're driving off the top, like you can have the wheel a little bit low here, but you don't need to worry about like, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, you're going like so slow.
Exactly.
Like to go less than 35 is like to barely move.
Exactly.
You know, that's like less than a school zone. And then, so this is standard to everything. So when you're driving, you can just look out.
Okay.
And then we get to the cutting off the other car and we swerve. And I want to just figure out how do we simplify that. So no, Gabrielle, slow down.
Yeah, like
So hitting the brakes, that just requires commitment.
Okay.
Like
okay.
Yep.
Like a little.
And again, this is hard. Most scenes you will not even need to worry about it, but just like a move forward and then an abrupt move back. Yeah. And then we start to go, Gabrielle, slow down. You can't really play speed other than if you want to sit back in your chair.
Okay.
You said at the gas, no, you're going too fast. It's fine. Don't yell. I wouldn't worry about playing any of the swerving or anything. I would just look out the windshield and see a car coming at you and freak out.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, when I'm looking at a script, I'm like, do I need any of this physicality? Okay, yes, I do. And then how do I simplify it?
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So mirror here, road here, mom here. And then, the brakes is forward. Going fast is moving back. And then, don't worry about swerving or anything weird like that. I just think, like, to see somebody driving at you because you go in the wrong lane.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I have to be like...
Yeah, that's terrifying to see a car coming at you, right? Cool. Do you have any other questions?
No, that was the big, like, the elephant in the room.
Ooh. Wonderful. Can we do a slate?
Yes. Do I need to get up for that?
Yeah, I'll get you to stand up. I'll move the mic back, and then we'll do the first scene. Cool?
Perfect.
Awesome. Please.
Hi, I'm Jada Ketsikevich. I'm 15 years old. I'm 163 centimeters, and I'm from Toronto. The speed limit is 35.
That is for real drivers. You're still learning. You go 15. Check your mirror. No, Gaby, for traffic.
There is literally no one on the road but us.
Okay, there's a turn coming up. Signal.
You said you wouldn't yell.
I'm not yelling. Okay, remember to come to a complete stop.
That was a complete stop?
Yes, okay, but easier on the pedals. Now touch the gas, but be careful pulling out. No, Gabriella, slow down.
You said hit the gas.
No, you're going too fast.
It's fine. Don't yell.
Gaby? No!
Oh my God, stop. You're still yelling.
So probably feeling weirder than it looked.
Yeah.
Because it probably felt ridiculous, but as long as you commit, it does translate.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of lines that happen in tandem. So when lines are written side by side.
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant.
That's okay, yeah. So that means we speak at the same time.
Okay.
But for an audition, I don't like to do it because I don't want to talk over you.
Uh-huh.
So I think we did fine with like the break thing. Like that was a complete stop. You can just kind of like go right after her.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Now at the end, it's fine. Don't yell. Gaby, no. I would go right into,
yeah,
oh my God, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because that would make more, like that just makes more sense.
Yeah, and I think you can be freaking out
at
the end. Like, I want you to yell.
Okay.
So we talk about like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Playing the distance to the mic. But like, it's all about acting for making things natural.
Mm-hmm.
And what's natural when you're about to crash your car is to yell, right? Yeah. So, I think that like the panic comes from it's life or death.
Mm-hmm.
Have we talked about stakes yet?
No.
What do you think of when I say like a high stake situation?
Like more serious?
Yeah. How would you define stakes to me? If someone was like to be like, define the word stakes.
Like different situations, kind of? I don't know. Like the different levels of situations. Like that's you have a higher, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, what's the worst that happens if you don't get your goal?
Okay.
So like a stake, we always want to make our goal super important so that we're fighting for it.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
so like the stakes of skydiving are like, your parachute couldn't open and you could die.
Exactly.
So I would say try to make it life or death.
Okay, yeah.
Cool, just because it makes you care more.
Yeah.
Sometimes the scene is like you're in a fight with your boyfriend, but it's like make winning that fight the most important thing.
Yeah, of course.
In this case, it literally is life or
death because like you're in a car.
Yeah.
Nice.
And on top of it, I don't know, you're the youngest, so I don't know if you've witnessed this with your sisters, but like learning how to drive with your parents is like
Oh, no, this is actually kind of funny because when my sister was learning how to drive with my dad, it was literally only yelling, and the only thing that my sister would go to my dad is, stop yelling, like, you're stressing me out. Yeah. And, like, he would be like, I'm not yelling while yelling, so it's kind of funny. Like,
oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, but it's so true, right?
No, it is, yeah, no.
So I feel like the yelling for you at the end comes from a place of, like, you're dealing with the fact that you're about to get in a car crash and you need to fix it, but on top of it, like, I'm not helping by yelling at you.
Exactly, yeah, no, for sure.
Cool. So, let's talk about what your goal is in that first scene.
To get my mom to stop yelling. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
I don't think so. You think so?
I think that's what you're doing in certain moments.
Right? Maybe. Right. I don't know.
Your goal can...
I don't know. Goals are so hard to find. I don't know why.
Because you're too smart. Because you're overcomplicating something that has to be so stupid simple. Right?
So just to, I don't know, drive?
Well, so what's funny is you kind of said, like, what I actually think the goal part of it is like, I want my mom to, like, shut up, basically.
Yeah, okay.
And then you were like, but no, because I think your body was like, that's too easy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but isn't that the scene?
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, cool. You're right.
Now, the reason why your goal is not to drive, even though that is what you are doing, is because your goal has to be something you get from the person in front of you.
Okay.
So you can't get driving from me.
From your mom. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, cool. So just always fill out the template of, I need blank from blank. Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm the same. Like, I always overcomplicate. I'm like, but there's so much going on in this scene. But just, like, I need something from whoever the relationship is.
Okay, yeah. So I need silence from my mother.
Beautiful. And again, like, it's funny because, like, now that you say it, you're like, but that's so simple.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's the point. Yeah. That's why I always say, like, a goal is like, you know, in soccer, it's getting the ball in the net. Like, and everyone's like, oh, that's so simple. And I'm like, it doesn't mean it's easy, but it is simple.
Exactly. No, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Good. So, let's do it again. I want you to freak out at the end.
Okay.
Yeah? And I would go, like, it's fine, don't yell. I think because you're looking at her and you're, like, correcting her, and that's, like, the drive towards your goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Then that's when you look over and you're like, shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then that's when you freak out on the last line. Now, this is Nickelodeon, which is weird because you're old enough that the Nickelodeon you grew up with is probably a lot more like...
Yeah, I didn't watch Nickelodeon.
Oh, did you not? Like, iCarly, stuff like that?
I was a weird kid.
You're not a weird kid? No.
There's so many times it's like, oh, what's your favorite childhood show? And that girl's like, oh, like iCarly. And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
You're like Gossip Girl.
Literally. I loved Gossip Girl. No, the first time that I watched Gossip Girl, I was like in grade 4. And I didn't understand what was going on. And I was like, oh God, like, what am I watching? And then my sister was like, you can't watch that. Like, you're too young. And like, obviously I had to prove her wrong. I was like, no, like, I'm not too young. I'm going to watch the plot and I'm going to understand everything and I'm going to like know what's going on. She's like, I was like, what am I watching?
You're like, what am I watching? Google? What does this mean? Oh my God. That is so funny. Oh my God. Okay, well actually this is good for us to talk about though. So Nickelodeon is typically heightened comedy.
Okay.
Like overacting.
And
this is good for us to know in general. A multicam sitcom is like a show like Friends. I don't know if you watch.
Yeah, I've watched Friends, yeah.
Beautiful. So that's filmed like theater. It's like a stage with multiple cameras around, and like you'll even see how wide the shots are.
Yeah.
Like it's very like physical, as opposed to like we are working in a single cam audition. Where like you can't move around the same way.
Yeah. And the camera's only on you.
Only on you. And we're like this tight. Right? So why I'm saying this is like Nickelodeon is typically a bit bigger. Now, in the wake of like Euphoria and Stranger Things and all these shows that they're like, oh, people your age aren't into this like hokey stuff anymore. They actually want like good content. It's gotten a bit more dramatic. So this is a bit darker, but I'm only saying that because with things like Nickelodeon, there's room to yell. There's room to be a bit bigger with things. And there is room for improv a little bit.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, like, if this is me and my last line is, oh my God, stop, you're still yelling. Like, if you're about to crash, you can add it. Oh my God, just freaking, like, you can say whatever you want to say. Because the essence of the line is basically, like, shut up.
Yeah.
Cool? Good.
Okay.
Let's do it again. Cool? Can you be so bored in your opening moment?
Okay.
I want, like, an awkward, long beat before your first line.
Okay.
Where you're just, like, you're just bored driving. And, like, just take as long of a beat as you want to the point that you feel awkward.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
The speed limit is 35.
That is for real drivers. You're still learning, you go 15. Check your mirror. No, Gabby, for traffic.
There is literally no one on the road but us.
Okay, there's a turn coming up. Signal. Signal. Signal, signal, signal!
You said you wouldn't yell.
I'm not yelling. Okay, remember to come to a complete stop.
That was a complete stop.
Yes, okay, but easier on the pedals. Touch the gas, but be careful pulling out.
You said hit the gas.
No, you're going too fast.
It's fine. Don't yell. Oh my God! Stop! You're still yelling. We could have crashed. We don't.
So we don't crash.
Okay, good. So we could have crashed. Made sense.
Sorry, I keep saying it crashed because it feels like that's what's about to happen.
No. But like that's good. That's good.
It doesn't actually say how it ends, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
I always say that a scene should go beginning, middle, beginning. Why do you think I say that?
So that we keep the audience intrigued.
Yeah, that's literally it. I love
the most
totally
blank guess ever. I was like, okay, thanks.
It was such a blank guess that as you were speaking, you were figuring it out. Like mid-sentence, you were like, But yeah, truly, because then when we cut to the end of the Netflix episode or we cut to commercial break, we're like,
what happened? And you want to click again. Or click next episode or whatever.
Exactly, right? You'll notice this when you watch TV all the time.
I hate it. Because, like, sorry, we're talking so much. But, like, today, I mean, not today. I watch, like, I watch an episode of, like, something with my mom every night. Yeah. And, like, I hate when it ends. I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? Because she's like, no, we can't watch anymore. Right. I'm like, I need to know.
But you see
like,
why they do it now.
Yeah, no.
So our audition sites go the same way, right? Like, when I'm a casting director clicking through, I'm like, what? Now I want to see more of this actor. Yeah. Like, what's going to happen? Even though I know the scene's over. Right? Yeah. Whereas when people play it like end, conclusion, it's like, okay, now I'm done. Right? Yeah. So that was much better of like leaving us on a cliffhanger. And I wonder if even after that last line, if I'm still rolling and I haven't said cut, you can maybe look back at the road with a breath of like, what do I do now? Yeah. Okay. You don't have to like resolve it. Just deal with it. Yeah? Much better. We just jumped. Normally I don't care when we jump my lines because it's just my lines. But you didn't let me say slow down. So when you said you said hit the gas, it didn't make sense. Yeah. It was just like a listening thing. Yeah. It's one of those scenes. It's so easy to ignore the listening because of the pacing of it, essentially. Yeah. No, active listening. Right. Cool. Yeah. How was your opening moment in that one? Felt awkward. You know what? It's a time vortex up there. I'm sure it felt like you were taking so much time, and it was only like 3 seconds. Yeah, it felt like forever. Can you take way longer still? Okay. I know it takes when you spoke. I was like, I thought I told, and then I was like, oh, it is though, right? Yeah. All the lights and attention's on you, so it's like, okay, this is taking forever. Exactly. Let's go even longer. That is for real drivers. You're still learning. You go 15. Now. Sorry, I love that she's going 15. Like, I don't actually even know how a car really moves at that pace. But I love her justification. That is for real drivers. And you're like, what? I'm a real driver. Yeah. I'm driving the car. Right? Yeah. Just, again, the active listening. It's easy to ignore the monotonous. Yeah? Check your mirror. And then I would have a stronger opinion of your appearance. Like, is it, instead of just doing the technical thing, so the technical choice is looking in the mirror, now let's layer on the opinion of it. So is it like, oh shit, my hair's out of place? Or is it like, just make a choice, cool? Okay, yeah. Great. Let's work through it, okay? There are also moments, again, it's a listening thing, but like, you said you would yell. I'm not yelling. What's funny about that is she's yelling when she says that. I would just have a stronger opinion of like, Mom? Yeah. Yeah? Cool. Let's do it again. From the top. Take. The speed limit is 35. That is for real drivers. You're still learning, go 15. Check your. Yes! So what's that called? That's called anticipating. Oh my god. Whoops. What? Sorry. Don't apologize. It's just, I'm glad that this stuff happens. Yeah. It just shows that you're rushing. Yeah. Let's take it back. Speed limit is 35. That is for real drivers. You're still learning, you go 15. Check your mirror. No, Gaby. For traffic. There is literally no one on the road but us. Okay, there's a turn coming up. Signal. You said you wouldn't yell. I'm not yelling. Okay, remember to come to a complete stop. That was a complete stop? Yes, okay. But easier on the pedals. Now, touch the gas, but be careful pulling it. Whoa, no. Gabriella, slow down. You said hit the gas. No, you're going too fast. It's fine. Don't yell. Oh. No. My God. Stop. You're still yelling.
Another line? I feel like I skipped another line.
No, well, I just didn't get out the that. That was a complete stop, but that's totally fine.
Okay.
Okay, so does it make sense to you if I give you the note of, like, you're pushing certain words? So, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm over-exaggerating. You need to look up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In life, when we're trying to get someone to do something, see how you're shaking your head? Because it's intentional. Like, if we want someone to not yell, we don't hit. We're just like, don't yell.
Yeah.
We correct them.
Yeah, no.
So can we just be a bit more intentional with how we speak?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in those moments? It's easy when you're freaking out and yelling to push, but that's when it stops being believable. Because in life, we don't tend to speak with emphasis on certain words.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen.
Good, yeah. I mean, sometimes if your character is, like, really stressing a point, that's a different thing. But yeah, even when the writer, like, italicizes or capitalizes, you don't need to, like, follow that.
Okay.
Or underlines. It's just for you to understand, oh, that's an important point, but it's not for you to stress it.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, that makes sense.
Wonderful. Have you ever been in the driver's seat of a car?
No.
Cool, great. I only ask because sometimes people are, like, your age, and they're like, oh, my parents, like, let me drive around my driveway. And I'm like,
no, I always wanted to, and my mom's like, no.
Okay, well, that's okay. She's following the law.
Yeah, that's what she said. She was like, would you rather, like, break the law now and never get your license and blah, 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 or, like, just wait? And I'm like, okay, but, like, because all my friends drive. Like, they don't actually drive, but they all like, oh, I'm going driving with my dad, like, in the parking lot. Like,
yeah.
Why can't I do that?
One more month, babe. One more month.
I know. And I have an early birthday, so, like, I'm going to be the first out of all my friends.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, still, it's not fair.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking is because, do you know where the clicker is, the signal? Cool.
Oh, wait, no, yeah. Beside the wheel. Somewhere here, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
The first time I ever drove, I was, like, terrified. And so, like, even if you, like, see someone do it, is that thing when someone's, like, signal in the moment that you're like, oh, you know, when someone, like, puts pressure on you and you forget everything?
Yeah, you blank. Yeah.
You blank, thank you. I want you to have a moment, because she keeps repeating it.
And it's like, I can't find it.
Well, I think there's a reason why she keeps repeating it. It's because you're not doing it.
Yeah.
So I think I would go to do it, and then the more that she's doing it, that's why you tell her, like, you said you wouldn't yell.
Yeah.
Cool? Just because right now I feel like I'm saying all those signals, but we're not trying to signal.
Yeah, I'm just, okay.
Cool.
That makes sense, yeah.
Great. Okay, let's do it again. No stressing words. And let's look for the signal on that line, okay?
Okay.
Good. Okay.
That's good. The speed limit is 35.
That is for real drivers. You're still learning. You've got 15. Check your mirror. No, Gabby, for traffic.
There is literally no one on the road but us.
Okay, there's a turn coming up. Signal.
You said you wouldn't yell.
I'm not yelling. Okay, remember to come to a complete stop.
That was a complete stop.
Okay, yes, but easier on the pedals. Now, touch the gas, but be careful pulling. No, Gabriella, slow down.
You said hit the gas.
No, you're going too fast.
It's fine. Don't yell.
Gabby, no.
Oh my God, stop. You're still yelling. I look at the camera?
Nope. I feel like you didn't fully freak out at the end there.
Yeah.
You were about to crash into a vehicle.
Yeah, and I was just like...
Yeah, you're very, it's a really great lesson because you're very contained.
Yeah, like I'm not bursting out.
Wonderful.
And I feel like that's what it needs. That's what the scene needs.
And acting for TV and film is all about real life.
Yeah.
Raw, real, messy. So let's get messy at the end. Cool?
Okay.
Good. Do one more. That was much better throughout, though. The beginning was so much better. Cool?
Okay, yeah.
It's one of those hard scenes where, like, it actually starts with lower energy, but it builds.
Builds up, yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, good. Let's do it.
The speed limit is 35.
That is for real drivers. You're still learning. You've got 15. Check your mirror. No, Gabby, for traffic.
There is literally no one on the road but us.
Okay, there's a turn coming up. Signal.
You said you wouldn't yell.
I'm not yelling. Okay, remember to come to a complete stop.
That was a complete stop.
Okay, yes, but easier on the pedals. Now touch the gas. Be careful pulling out. No, Gabriella, slow down.
You said hit the gas.
No, you're going too fast.
It's fine. Don't yell.
Gabby? No!
Oh my God. Stop yelling. That could have ended bad.
Permission to improvise.
Yeah. Right.
So again, just like, I'm glad that happened because our perfectionist brain wants to be like, but I have to follow it. But it's like in that moment, you're not speaking cleanly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know anybody that would be like, oh my God, stop, like that organized. You know what I mean? That was much better. Thank you. How did the physicality of the driving feel?
Better. Like, after all those movies, did, like 4 times, felt so much better.
And I do want to point out that like the first time was actually a lot better anyway. Like once we spoke about it, it just kept getting more committed, which is why it translated better.
Okay, yeah.
The thing about TV and film is we have to implement tools, unnatural tools, to make it look natural. Mm-hmm. And that's the hard part about our job. I have so many theater actors come to me. You do theater at school sometimes, right? No?
Because I'm in the dance program.
Because you're in the dance program. Sorry, I always forget this.
Yeah,
I remember your gymnastics past, but yes, I forget you're in the dance program. Okay, so theater, you like go into rehearsals for like 6 months before you go on stage. So like you're used to like connecting to the other actors and like feeling, you know what I mean? Yeah. And not that I'm saying as TV and film actors we don't feel, but when I have a theater actor come in, they're like, I just want to feel everything from the depths of my being, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna show up to set and we film things out of order. So they're going to be like, cool, this is the scene where you're crying because your boyfriend broke up with you and you haven't even met the guy that's playing your boyfriend yet. So you can't tell me you're feeling that from the depths of your being. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I'm sharing that with you because you'll see when you watch it back, I'm sure part of that still felt a bit funky, like when you have to like go back and stuff, but it looks great. Okay. And that's all I care about. Yeah. Is how it's translated.
Okay.
Cool.
I definitely did not feel like I'm in my being, so.
Well, exactly. You were, and that's the thing is people are like, I just want to get lost in the scene. I'm like, no part of you is ever going to be like, I'm not in a studio, I'm in a car. Like, you're very clearly not.
Definitely.
That's why I say more connected moments than disconnected moments. I don't know if I shared this with you, but like my first audition ever, it was so cool. I got a call back. I got to like the final round. It was between me and one other girl. And
God.
I know, it's so cool. But like it also ruined my expectations because then like my second audition, like nothing happened. And I was like, aren't I supposed to just, you know? So it was bittersweet. But it was like my third callback, and they took me to the production office. And I was in the middle of my callback. It was like a chemistry read, so I was like with the actor.
That's amazing.
So cool. But then out of the corner of my eye, the casting director starts texting. And I was like, I'm doing a terrible job. I'm boring her. And also like just like how rude, but okay. But if I had let that throw me off, in the end it didn't mean anything. Like that callback went well.
That's so good.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like, there was never a moment where I was like, I'm lost. I'm like in the scene. I forget that I'm here. I'm like, I'm in a production office. I am terrified. I'm a brand new actor. She's texting. I must suck. Yeah. But it's those moments like that, and I'm sharing that with you to be like, oh, cool. That's not helpful right now. I'm going to focus on the person in front of me. Yeah. Cool. So, my whole point being like, I don't necessarily care how people feel in the scene as long as it's translating. Yeah. And my favorite thing to remember, especially when we get to like more emotional stuff, like crying and all that good stuff that terrifies us all, right? When we see it, it's like, oh my gosh, she starts crying or whatever, is the audience doesn't care how you feel. They care how you make them feel. Yeah. Cool.
Because at the end of the day, it is entertainment, right?
Well, if you're watching someone up there just like sob and have a pity party, it's boring. Whereas if you're watching someone like struggle against something, you like go through that with them. Mm-hmm, yeah. Cool. Let's do second scene. Let's stand up. Gabby, where have you been all night?
Oh God, I'm sorry. I know I'm just supposed to say line, but I forgot.
What the best part about I'm sorry is
that's the line.
Gabby, where have you been all night?
I'm sorry.
Explain yourself now.
I know, I'm grounded. Can we just talk about this later? I've had a horrible night.
Don't walk away from me. You're not the only one who had a bad night. You ignored all my calls. I was up all night worried sick. And what is that? That's not what you were wearing when you left.
I changed.
What has gotten into you?
Nothing.
Take that off. You're grounded. If you're just trying to upset me.
This isn't about you. Not everything is about you. I'm so sick of doing everything for other people all the time. I have to be perfect. The perfect daughter, the perfect student, the track star. Why can't I just do something for myself? I just wanted one night to be me. It doesn't matter anyway. It was all ruined.
What?
No, that felt so weird. I don't know why.
Like, you were just thinking about it and you were just pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was... Oh, God.
Well, here's the hard thing about the scene. The beginning seems... like, she's very avoidant at the beginning. Yeah. And then she, like, unleashes everything. But I think when we're, like, quiet like that, it's because we're not... You're, like, hearing it and you're getting frustrated, but you're trying to keep it in. You're trying to keep it in until you can't anymore. Yeah. And I didn't see you trying to keep it in. Yeah. So then when you had to have that like burst, it wasn't coming from anywhere. And that's why you felt so funky, because you felt like you were pushing.
Yeah.
Cool?
Definitely.
Also, with these paragraphs, it's really easy to like say it as if she's memorized this, like Gaby has.
Uh-huh.
But even if you know what you want to say, when you're in the moment, it doesn't come out how we planned.
Yeah, how we thought it would, yeah.
Yeah, like you're thinking of these examples.
Yeah.
Cool? Wonderful. Okay, let's do it again. What do you need in this scene?
Like my goal?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, let my mom know how I feel. Definitely not in the beginning, or maybe just like I'm done, like I can't anymore.
Okay, how do we make
in the beginning? Like in the beginning, I want to leave.
Okay, great.
Beginning, I want to leave, and then at the end, well, no, I think I still want to leave.
Yeah.
I want to leave.
Great.
Simple. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think that you need to change it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Great. Let's step in again. Now you know you're in deep shit.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sorry if you just want to leave. I would actually mean that apology. Right now we're just gonna throw it away.
Okay.
I've had a horrible night. You need to decide. You actually don't even need to tell me, because like just make it personal to you. But like you need to decide what happened that night.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Because you're coming from the dance. So could it be like you got rejected? Could it be like the mean girls were like leaving you out? Like, I don't know. Whatever's going to actually affect you.
Yeah.
And because I don't believe in using like talking about real life for the purpose of art. You know, like we don't just like go through our own personal pain to be good actors. You don't even have to tell me. Just decide.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
Great. Let's do it again. The walking off is hard. The turn.
Yeah.
So there's two moments I would definitely play it. After your second line, I've had a horrible night.
Start to walk off.
Because I have to say don't walk.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you're grounded. You have to go to do it again, because I say if you're trying to upset me.
Yeah.
Cool?
Yeah.
Good. Gaby, where have you been all night?
Sorry.
Explain yourself now.
I know I'm grounded. Can we just talk about this later? I've had a horrible night.
Good, and then right after that, you're going to turn.
Oh, right.
Okay. The audience cares how you make them feel. My favorite thing, and this is something we're going to keep working on in the new year, is struggle over sadness.
Okay.
So in life, when we're sad, we don't like wallow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We try to get out of it.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Same thing. I love watching actors when they're crying, because they're like really feeling it. And I'm like, no, but in life when you're crying, you're trying not to cry.
You're trying to hide it a little, yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm sharing that with you because I think you can be struggling against it about it. I'm sorry, like, don't wallow in these lines.
Mm-hmm.
Just more like, I know I'm grounded, let's move on. That's all underneath.
Yeah.
But deal with the person in front of you. Cool?
Okay, yeah.
Good. Sure. I'm being it. Gaby? Oh no. Gaby, where have you been all night?
I'm sorry.
Explain yourself now.
I know I'm grounded. Can we just talk about this later? I've had a horrible night.
No, do not walk away from me. You're not the only one who had a bad night. You ignored all my calls, Gaby. I was up all night worried sick. And what is that? That's not what you were wearing when you left.
I changed.
What has gotten into you?
Nothing.
Take that off. You're grounded. If you're trying to upset me...
This has nothing to do with you. Not everything has to do with you. Not everything is about you. I'm like,
but
this makes sense, right? Kind of. Almost.
So rule number 1,
never.
I say it with love.
Yeah.
Never stop.
Yeah, that was bad. Oh god.
That's okay. This is how we learn.
Yeah.
Never call cut. Words. You said that yourself. You basically said the line.
Yeah.
If you were like totally went off script, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But if you messed up so much, which by the way that wasn't even a mess up, what could you have done there?
Went with it.
Well, in that case, totally.
Okay.
Let's say you like fumbled, but you knew the line. Like you didn't need to call a line. Just go back to the beginning of it.
Okay. Like restart?
Sorry. The line. Go back to the beginning of the line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
So if you're like, not everything is about you. You just take a breath and you go back.
Okay,
cool?
yeah.
But in that case, I would have just ran with it. And then obviously we use line for when it's like a brain fart moment.
Yeah, of course.
Good. That's okay. We're going to do it one more time. Now, every single line that I have has to be you bubbling up. Like think of like a pot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're trying to keep the lid on. Bubbling up. So by the time we get to, this has nothing to do with you. It makes sense that you're explosive.
Okay, yeah.
And feel free to yell at me.
Okay.
Yeah? If you want to. You don't have to, but I do. Gaby, where have you been all night?
I'm sorry.
Explain yourself now.
I know I'm grounded. Can we just talk about this later? I've had a horrible night.
No, do not walk away from me. You're not the only one who had a bad night. You ignored all my calls. I was up all night worried, sick, and what is that? That is not what you were wearing when you left.
I changed.
What's gotten into you?
Nothing.
Take that off. You're grounded. Look, if you're just trying to upset
This
me...
has nothing to do with you. Not everything is about you. I'm so sick of doing everything for everyone else all the time. I have to be perfect. The perfect daughter. The perfect student. The track star. Why can't I just do something for myself? Doesn't matter anyway. My night was ruined. Okay.
We need, and I'm being really, like, I need to say that, like, in 3 sessions, you have grown so much. Like,
really?
Me being, like, messy up, no, truly, is, like, a note that I'm still giving to my, like, masterclass actors. Because, like, we still have this part of us that's, like, wants to do it right and perfect, even if we know there's no right and wrong, right? Like, life is very black and white in thinking, right? Mm-hmm. And everything else that we tend to pursue is very, like, again, I think of gymnastics, and, like, you know when you've gotten something down pat, mm-hmm. right? That's very black and white, I'm guessing. Where it's the same thing with dance, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's creativity, but, like, let's say you're doing, like, a ball change, like,
yeah, no,
you can't fudge that around.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It just is what it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it's all grit. So, me giving you a note of, like, good, stay messy, that's, like, a really good note to get. Because mm-hmm. that's the thing that we're probably going to be working on till the end of time.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I know today, like, I'm pushing you in certain ways, but I'm really happy with where you're at. For, like, you've only had 3 sessions.
Yeah.
That's, like, nothing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So that was so much better. Did you feel the difference when you let yourself build up?
Definitely. Yeah, no. It felt more, like, natural for, like, the breakout.
Beautiful. So whenever you have a scene like this, and you're like, okay, all this, I'm acting like I don't care, I'm acting like I don't care, and then I explode. Just remember, again, like in life, just because our character's saying it doesn't mean it's not happening underneath.
Yeah, definitely.
And also to build in listening, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the only reason we get into an argument is because somebody's saying something to us that's pushing our buttons. Mm-hmm. So what I loved about that last pass is I saw your buttons get pushed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, what are some takeaways from this today? From these scripts?
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, first, I don't know, the really one that really spoke to me is don't push on the words.
Yeah, good.
Because I feel like that's just something that just never happens in real life, and I feel like it's, for me at least, it's easy because, like, I feel like I see all caps and I'm like, okay, I have to go like. Rrr.
And that's not your fault. Like, that's the writer, but like.
But no, but still.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely something.
Yeah.
Literally the whole first scene with the car, just like, you know, it feels wonky. That's fine, but. You know, whatever, like, it's going to translate better. You just can't overthink it. Yeah. I feel like definitely that. And I had a third point. Oh, I forgot.
I think the big one is simplify.
Oh, yeah. And simplify the goal. Or everything. Physical, yeah, everything. That's just overall simplify.
Yeah. And, like, again, it's just because everything that you and I are talking about in our sessions, mm-hmm. our goals are like your homework, it's only in place so that we see it affect the take.
Yeah.
So simplification allows it to be executed.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when we're overcomplicating every choice, it's all in here, but it's hard to play it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes like, what's your goal? And an actor will start talking, and I'm like, your explanation of your goal is longer than the scene itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And people are like, but it's so stupid. And I'm like, that's the point. It's stupid and simple.
Stupid and simple, yeah.
Because you didn't become an actor because you just wanted to, like, think about it and talk about it. You wanted to, like, do it.
Yeah.
Right? So, anyways, I really, when we enter into this new year, want our focus to go into simplification. Mm-hmm. In homework, in choices, in all that good stuff. Cool?
Yeah.
And letting it be messy. Yeah? Like,
definitely.
I never need you word perfect.
Okay.
Cool? Dude, that was our last session of 2022.
That's insane.